In a world full of noise, two voices rise above the chaos. Ron and Brian. They speak truth. They stir thought. They accidentally help. News, nonsense, unnecessary self-care. Join the cult of Ron and Brian. Because the work is so important.
All right. Good evening, everybody. It is time yet again for the Cult of Ron and Brian podcast. Here we are, Brian, episode 376. People said we couldn't get this far. People said we couldn't take it this high, and here we are. We're what are we doing for 400? We haven't really had that conversation, but we're 6 months away from hitting that big number.
Listen, for me, the bigger number is Ted Williams, 406. When we hit 406, I'm going to paint this chair red.
Okay.
And everybody will realize that this is the Ted Williams, or was that Carl Yastrzemski that hit the ball that far? I think that was Yastrzemski.
It might have been Yastrzemski.
I think it was Yastrzemski.
Yeah.
Anyway, for 400, I think we finally accept Donald Trump's offer to have him on the show. He reaches out to us. He has his people reach out to us and say, listen, he did Rogan. He's done the Letterman. He's done the Fallon. He's been on Stern countless time. He's never been on the Cult of Ron and Brian.
Never been on the Cult.
We keep saying, listen, Donnie, Don the jeweler. We're like, listen, this isn't the right show for you.
Booby.
Maybe 400 we have her on.
All right. We'll give it a try. Also, would like to point out, we talked last week about retiring the previous title belt. We've got the new title belt back here that I am proudly displaying, which I will keep come February, despite what Brian thinks. But the hanging frame came in for the old title belt. You have to see it. It is very prominent in the background here, hanging over the server closet here. Doesn't it just look natural there, Brian? Doesn't it look like perfect. It should always have been there?
It looks as if you created the height of that closet door to hold a title belt above
like we
it.
Purchased the house knowing that eventually a title belt would go in that space.
Well, I believe when you were filling out the checklist at the realtor's office before you started looking at houses, I know there was obviously an obvious question. Will there be a title belt on display in the home? I remember you telling me that you and the missus got into a somewhat of a heated disagreement because you said to her, of course there will be a title belt on display in the house. And she said, no, there will not be. It's
Who's
nice
laughing now.
I believe this just proves that to all men out there, it's you can lose the battle, but understand there are future ones to be won.
I can tell you who isn't laughing now. My wife, when she was like, really?
Did she see it?
She saw it. Less than impressed. And her response was, she's like, aren't people from work going to see that when you're on Zoom and Teams calls? And I'm like, God, I hope so. Like that just adds to my aura. They'll be like, holy shit, look at this guy. He's got a title belt hanging back here.
When did it go up there?
It went up. When did I put it up there? Like 2 days ago. I got the frame in from the good people at Trophy Smack, screwed it into the wall, got the title belt up there.
Have you done any Zoom or Teams calls for
work? I did a few today. The thing is, when I do my Teams calls, I use that feature where it blurs your background because there's a lot of junk back here in my home office.
Really?
It doesn't look as neat and organized as I would like. So I blur it.
Oh,
there is the unmistakable outline of a title above my head.
I will say this. I have so much more respect for people that do not blur their backgrounds because I always take the approach of what are you hiding? To me, the fact that you have things behind you says to me that this is like your home. This is your this is a place where you feel comfortable, where you have your belongings there. And by blurring it, it says to me that like you're either embarrassed of it or you're shamed of it and you're not proud of it. I don't blur my backgrounds on work calls, and people can see just how much paperwork I have behind me that I need to clean up and throw out. People have accused me of being a work
asking
hoarder.
a fantastic question. Will this increase the value of your house? I have not, we're getting it reappraised, obviously, now that we've made this home improvement. Early estimates say it adds 25 to 30K of value to the house.
Sure.
But it also narrows the buying field to those people who are champions. So like if Brian was at his realtor, that realtor would say, this house, not for you. This is a house for champions. So it potentially could disqualify some potential buyers.
Understood, Ron. But the 25K that you say that the title belt has increased the value of their home, does that not balance out the dip of 25K for having there be no longer any type of hospitable environment for frogs?
I mean, listen, I think it's all it's all about who that buyer is. Who's that prospective buyer?
All right. I think we need to move on because I'm getting a little thirsty here.
Oof. You and me both, my friend. So maybe it's time for our drink of the week.
Drink of the week. Na zdrowie.
Salud.
Drink of the week. Crunch it.
Drink of the week. Drink of the week. Drink of the week.
Brian, what are you drinking this week, my friend?
Ron, this time of year brings a moment that makes me so utterly happy. And that is the time when I can heat up apple cider on my stove. It makes the house a home.
There you go.
It just the pleasant smell of apple and cinnamon takes over every nook and cranny of the house. You put a little bit of whiskey on top of it. And Ron, you've got my drink of the week, which is apple cider, warmed apple cider with whiskey right here, my first sip of the year.
And that is right up to the brim. That is a dangerously full coffee mug right there. I'm going to assume that's just delicious because just the combination right off the bat sounds awesome.
Oh, this is so good. I love apple cider. That is so good. That is so fucking good. Okay.
I'm glad you're enjoying it.
There's nothing. I would love to tell you what Beer Advocate says. I have no idea what the ABV is, but it's dangerously high. This is good, and there will be a round 2 during this show.
Right.
Ron,
yes.
What have you got for us? What are you bringing to the table?
So going with the good folks at Big Timber Brewing again. I brought one of their beers to last week's show. It was their Hop Forward Pale Ale, which was a little hoppy for my taste. I am hopeful that this one is a little bit better. This is something called their Trust Lager. Ooh. This is a light lager brewed in West Virginia with Mountain State water and American hops. It is clocking in at 4%, so a crushable beer. And 15% of sales go towards the Country Roads Trust LLC, which I believe their mission is to make crystal meth labs safer. So a very worthwhile cause. Light lager is definitely a description. There is not a lot of color to that.
No.
So I'm hoping there's more flavor than there is color to this beer.
I've actually urinated that color on many occasions. Ron, walk me through the flavor.
Not a ton of flavor.
Really?
I would say if you have ever had Yuengling Flight, their low calorie light beer,
sure,
very similar.
Interesting. Okay. All right.
I mean,
the question,
it's not bad.
Is it crushable? Is it crushable?
It's 100% crushable. Like if it were 90 degrees out right now, if it were hot out, if it were, dare I say, hot podcaster summer.
Hot podcaster summer.
Then that would be a great beer. But fall weather-wise, it's okay. Listen, I had one in my fridge, said I was going to drink it. I drank it, and here we are. But
Well,
moving on, Brian.
It's nice.
Moving on.
What do we got?
You know what's always next, Brian. Beef of the week is coming up.
Ron and Brian's Beef of the Week.
Brian,
Yes.
what's bothering you this week?
Earlier this week, I believe it was Monday, possibly Tuesday, don't know. There was a incident globally that affected so many people. Put me out of the way, put you out of the way, and probably all of our listeners. There was an issue with Amazon Web Services. Now that sounds innocuous. That sounds very, Amazon Web Service. Oh, that must be like, where I speak to the chat when I realize I have not received my delivery in time. No. That is Amazon's cloud-based servers that you don't realize until incidents like this, that when that service goes down, everything comes crashing down to a halt. I, for one, websites that went down, Venmo. I was not able to transfer money. Usually on Mondays, I accept a nominal dollar value from you after you have accepted the fact that you have chosen poorly on your NFL picks in our pick'em pool. So you send me money. I was not able to receive that money on Monday. Ring cameras were down. I was unable to see who was walking by my apartment door. Fortnite went down. I was not able to reach out to some of my online friends. There's, some 13, 14-year-olds across the country
Sure.
I'm very close with.
You
we
work
interact
with the
all the time. I absolutely. They say I cannot get within 50 yards physically of them, but on the online, I have free reign. But also, and this is the one that really impacted me the most, was that FanDuel was inaccessible. So throughout the entire afternoon, when I was looking to get some primo odds on some of the sporting events there, I believe it was the Game 7 of the Mariners and Blue Jays, the American League Series. I was unable to access, my funds that I have with FanDuel. Then, and this is where the tricky part was.
Okay.
When I was in New York at work, FanDuel came back early, but I didn't make a wager at the time. I was just happy to say, oh, well, FanDuel's now, all right, I'll make my picks when I get home. And when I got home, crossing the Hudson into the safe confines of lovely New Jersey, FanDuel was down again. I was not able to access it. So it makes you realize just how dependent we have become on Amazon services, not just their, the shopping portal, the behemoth that it is, but it is all the back end infrastructure. Jeff Bezos is not buying multi-million-dollar yachts, mega yachts, because I'm ordering my Calvin Klein underwear from Amazon. It is FanDuel saying, hey, you need to host all of our data.
Right.
We're going to host it there. And certainly from the money FanDuel's made off of me. But to make a long story short, it was just the fragility of the internet this week when Amazon's cloud servers went down and the inaccessibility of several sites that I utilize.
Sure. I mean, Janelle was impacted. She said her Blink cameras went down. My door locks, I was not able to access my door locks through the app on my phone because their servers were down. How, when I'm home, am I going to know if my doors are locked or not if I can't open an app and see that, Brian?
Sure.
Just
so the question is, were you able to unlock your doors, or were you trying?
Oh, yeah, they could still be unlocked. I mean, they operate manually, but I couldn't tell unless I looked at them whether they were locked or not. And that's not why you buy Wi-Fi locks, Brian.
Not at all. But it's nice to know. So, Ron, what is your beef of the week?
So my beef of the week, Brian, is pre-vacation anxiety. As
Ooh.
you know, the lady and I will be traveling this upcoming week, celebrating our 12th wedding anniversary on Halloween. 12
She
years.
has
Can you
not.
believe
She
it's
hasn't killed you yet. She has not
not
killed
yet?
you yet in
Not
12
yet.
years.
I mean, God bless her. She's wanted to a time or two, but she
Of
has not.
course,
Um,
that is a woman with patience.
Vacations are supposed to be a relaxing time, Brian. But I
Sure.
think and let me know if you can relate to this. The anxiety I feel in the days leading up to going on vacation,
Sure.
trying to get caught up enough on work and then get ahead of work so that I feel comfortable not working
Right.
for a week. And then there's just
Right.
all the stuff around the house that needs to get done. And we're traveling internationally, so there's passports, there's online visas, the whole thing.
Sure.
It's just
Sure.
the agita it gives me, Brian. It's right. It's hitting me right here. And again, I get
Okay.
it. First world problem. Oh, you're going on vacation.
Does the anxiety go down when you have gotten to your destination?
Usually, probably about a day in. When
Okay.
as long as like if the house doesn't burn down the first day we're gone, the companies don't go out of business, then I can
Right.
be like, all right, I can enjoy the rest of the week.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah.
And at the end of the
I
day, the
get
beef
it.
is with myself. It is with
No,
myself. It is with my anxiety. But it is
it's
what
with
it
the
is.
number of responsibilities you have, and let's face it. You're not just a man with one championship belt
True.
in your home. You have two. There's the number of responsibilities you have reached. If you were a newspaper delivery boy, and the Philadelphia Inquirer said, "Hey, we've got somebody who's going to cover your route," you have no worries anymore. But you
Right.
are an important man. Like, what's going to happen on Friday afternoon when I decide I'm going to do an impromptu podcast episode? You have no
Your
control.
problem.
You're not near your
Right.
computer. You can't run into that server room right behind you and hit the kill switch. I'll broadcast it. It may take me a couple tries and a phone call to you to be like, how do I turn on the podcast?
You'll
But
watch a few YouTube videos on how to
of
operate
course,
this platform.
call StreamYard's technical support, get frustrated by the person on the phone, ask to speak to their supervisor, yell at that person, and so on.
And we haven't, now that we have two title belts in the house, I did call our security company. Obviously, there are upgrades that need to be made to the security here. Hopefully, we can get those done before we go away. Otherwise, we've got thousands of dollars of title belts,
Of course.
just sitting around here waiting to be taken.
Question: did you at any point volunteer the current championship belt to your wife so that she could hang it up on a hook behind her workstation so that her coworkers could sit there and say, do you know the Fabulous Moolah? Are you the current NXT women's champion?
This may shock you, Brian. She wants relatively little to do with either title belt.
Do you think you could get a photo of her holding it up, like over the shoulder kind of deal?
So I was, and I may have told you this story, but I was sitting in my favorite chair in the living room, and I think how comfortable your favorite chair can be in a living room.
Not only that, I know how comfortable your favorite chair is because I've sat in that chair in your living room.
So I'm sitting in the chair, and I had the title belt with me, and I had it draped across my chest as I'm sitting in the chair. And she looks over and she's like, "What the hell is wrong with you?" I'm like, "What are you talking about? This is my title belt." She's like, "Why do people feel the need to just hold their title belts and strap it?" I'm like, "You clearly do not respect the title belt and the joy that a title belt can bring to an individual."
But she's not giving any value to the years of training that you put in, the blood, the sweat, those years of blood and sweat that you left on that mat, the years of working through the independent podcast champion leagues, working up your way to the majors. You know, that first time you got that invitation to try out for Vince McMahon in the podcast world. And then to actually be recognized, to get the tap on the shoulder in the locker room to say,
To get called
hey,
up.
kid, tonight we're putting you over. You're getting the belt. Like that
Exactly.
is, you know, Suzanne Vacker, whatever her name is.
Stephanie Vakor.
So close. You know,
Closer than I would have expected you to get.
No, I know what she looks like. I don't know how to pronounce her name. You know, for her, like, you know, like the way she was describing when she got to stand in the ring and have Triple H put that belt around her, you know, that it was the proudest moment of her life. You know, that's not a moment that, you know, like you so quickly forget about when you sit in your favorite chair in your living room and just what does she want you to do? Just toss the belt onto the floor?
So long story short, I don't know that I'll be able to get a photo of her holding the belt, but I will ask when we finish recording this. I will go ask and see.
I can guarantee you that and I'm going to be honest with you, Ron.
Right.
I'm close to ordering myself an Intercontinental podcast championship belt. It'll be smaller than yours. It'll be smaller than yours, but if I don't here we go. If I don't win, if I do not win.
When you don't win,
that's hurtful. That's hurtful.
So if you don't win the title in February,
if I don't win the title belt in February, I will order myself an Intercontinental podcast champion belt. It'll be significantly smaller than yours.
Sure.
It'll probably be about 2.5 pounds of
plated.
It'll be plated gold. It'll be plated gold. It'll bend easily if you drop it. If you drop it, it'll just kind of. But I'll have something. I'll be like the Tito Santana to your Bob Backlund.
There you go. You're really nailing the pro wrestling references tonight.
Yeah, except they're 30 years old. Like I'm not going to get anybody current. Jesus.
Speaking of Bob Backlund, I read today that he apparently has dementia. Kind of sad.
Well, good, because I've already forgotten about him. So I did not know he was alive. I thought he was long dead.
He was not. Anyway, let's keep it rolling. Let's get to our stories of the week. As our longtime listeners know, these are the stories that we catch our eye throughout the week. We want to make sure we get to them before we run out of time, because we tend to go off on tangents every now and then, but not for these stories. Brian, what is your story of the week this week?
Ron, my story of the week takes us all the way out to Pueblo County, Colorado.
Pueblo
County. Ron, I know you're a big Halloween person. You
love it.
It is your favorite time of year.
Got married on Halloween.
You get an invitation to a Halloween party. You and the lady are there. You're not even asking questions. You don't who, how, when. You're not asking those questions. You're like, Halloween party, we're there.
Bing, bang, boom.
Unfortunately, not everybody has the same approach to Halloween parties as you do. The residents of Pueblo County, Colorado, unfortunately received an invitation that they did not respond positively to, and we're going to get into it because this is a lesson on how to do a Halloween party right and how to do it wrong.
Okay.
The people have spoken. The people of Pueblo County. This is not okay. So we go to Pueblo County. A coroner's office canceled its quote unquote safe and sweet family friendly Halloween party due to ongoing concerns regarding 24 rotting corpses that were found in the previous coroner's mortuary. So the coroner's office in Pueblo County tried to throw a Halloween party, invited all the residents of the town, said, bring your kids. This is going to be fun. I don't know, face painting. They're going to have some people dressed up as clown, whatnot. And the people felt that it was in poor taste. The previous coroner, Brian Cotter, he and his brother operate a mortuary home in the county. He fell into hot water this past August when 24 decomposing bodies were discovered behind a hidden door in his mortuary home. Some of those bodies were reportedly decomposing for up to 15 years. He quickly resigned his elected position, was replaced by Dr. Greg Grayhick. And Grayhick's one of his first attempts to regain the trust of the community was to hold a community Halloween event at the coroner's office, but it was met with such pushback from the community that it ended up with notice going out on the county Facebook page canceling the event. This is what they said. And you tell me if this is an acceptable cancellation. Our intent was simply to provide a safe and family-friendly opportunity for children and families to enjoy the holiday together, as we had provided in the past. It has become clear, however, that the event was not well received by some members of the community. We recognize and respect those concerns, and as such, we have decided to cancel the event. So, what I'm basically saying, Ron, is
right.
When people have found 24 rotting corpses in your home, don't try to mask it up afterwards by throwing a Halloween party at the coroner's office.
I mean, I think, this is in Colorado. I think this is another example of a red state populated by snowflakes. Personally, me, I would love to go to a Halloween party where there was 24 rotting corpses. How do you better fit the mood of Halloween than having 24 rotting corpses? And credit to the new guy, Quincy, I think his name was, the new coroner. He wanted to, I think, remove the stigma so people wouldn't walk by and say, oh, that's the building that had the 24 rotting corpses. Instead, it could be, hey, that's the building where there was 24 rotting corpses, and I got a Tootsie Pop.
And a shin bone.
And listen,
walk out with a shin
bone. Bobbing for tracheas in a big tub of formaldehyde.
I'm going to say this. When I walk into the coroner's office and I see that big bowl of candy, I'm going to be digging at the bottom of it. What has fallen through the Snickers and the Reese's peanut butter cups? What's down there? What's down there? A tooth,
Clavicles, phalanges, those kind of things just fall straight to the bottom.
Maybe a box of vulvas. Maybe a box of vulvas, Mother.
Mother said I should go straight home after the coroner Halloween party. I can't go home with you, Sarah, because you're a Jezebel. What? I can't finger bang you in the on the slab? What in the Sam Hill?
Jiminy Crickets.
Jiminy. What's being served? Sinful cold cuts.
Sinful cold cuts.
Oh, shit.
Oh, that Endgame show is going to be memorable for all the wrong reasons.
All the wrong reasons. Charlie Hunnam did such a good job in it, but it was just so ludicrous.
I solved the murder. I solved the murder, but you really want to get a lot of TPI when you're going to use a human saw, because if you're going to take the neck off, if you want to take the head off of the neck, you're going to need a lot of bone.
No, these bodies in the house, I didn't kill them. I just dug them up. It's the ones in the barn that I killed.
I don't know. Maybe they got there somehow. I don't know.
All right, Brian, my story. It's a story of commerce, Brian. It's a story of capitalism. And I feel a wrongful persecution where a Travis County corrections officer has been fired and charged for allegedly providing an inmate with contraband in exchange for money. 25-year-old Amos Nyanwe, has been charged with contraband in a correctional facility, a Class B misdemeanor. What was that contraband, you ask, Brian?
What was that contraband, Ron?
Mango habanero chicken wings. He was providing an inmate with mango habanero chicken wings. Really marked up the prices on this. Word is he charged $20 for a drumstick and $15 for a flat. Made about $500. He was paid via Cash App. So he was placed on administrative duty during the investigation and then fired on October 14th He had been with the sheriff's office since last June. This is punishable by up to 6 months in jail and a fine of up to $2,000.
No way.
Apparently so.
I thought you were
So-
kidding about the prices.
No, no. He, and what's surprising is if it had been higher, he could have been charged with a felony, apparently. But keeping it at
Right.
$500 kept it a misdemeanor. But listen, if a inmate has the ability to pay for chicken wings, why not let
Whereas a
this guy
family
earn
member
a few
that's
bucks?
going to do it. Yeah,
It's,
no
it's-
offense, but that is usury. The markup on that is something that's normally something you would see in Tel Aviv.
I mean, have you seen the cost of chicken wings lately, Brian? I don't know that it's that much of a
No.
of a markup.
All joking aside, I'm not a huge chicken wing person.
Really? Why is that? Let's get into this, Brian. Why are you not a huge chicken wing person?
I'll tell you why. I'm a lazy
Okay.
eater. I don't like bones. I don't like having to work for my food. When the apocalypse happens, I'm going to be one of the first people to die. I
Sure.
get that. I like a salmon fillet. If you're going to offer me a salmon steak where it's that rounded kind of horseshoe shape, I'm going to take some bites, and as soon as I get a bone, it's going to piss me the fuck
done.
off.
You're done with.
You tell me that you're going to give me like a New York strip steak, and when I see the phrase "bone in" already, I'm like, nah, I'm going to get the fillet. No,
A
bone.
tomahawk steak is not going to be in your wheelhouse.
No joking aside, the tomahawks I've seen are just there's so much fat on them.
Yeah.
That when you see them cutting, it's like meat, fat, meat, little. The meat to fat ratio has got to be 98-2.
I will say this: if I'm doing chicken wings, I most definitely prefer the drumsticks. The flats for me, I think, are annoying. What works?
There's such
I
a
think
small amount.
I think the main reason my marriage works is my wife likes the flats and I like the drums.
Sure.
So we'll get a couple dozen wings and she'll have her flats. I'll have my drumsticks and life is good.
Yeah, to me the flats, they're so, first off, it's skin. So I'm
Right.
not really a huge skin. I don't want to eat skin. I don't really like that very much. And then there's like that little strip of meat in between the two bones, and that's it.
And I see these people on TikTok where they'll pick up a flat and they'll do some magic move and they'll just literally pull the bone straight out and leave the meat.
Sure. Well,
That's
it looks like
straight
they
wizardry
twist it
thing.
somehow. They twist it somehow, and then they press down on it, which is the move I don't get. Because I don't understand it. Have not tried it. Here,
Janelle mentions boneless wings. Aren't those just chicken nuggets?
What's wrong with that? They're not. I mean, they're in the shape of. A nugget is usually like a round shape. The a boneless, that's more of a tender, where it's elongated. What's wrong with that?
Let me ask you this: do you like ribs?
Yes, I do.
But ribs come on a bone.
Yes, and here's the irony, because now you're going to call me a fucking hypocrite and full of shit. Is that those places like the Dallas BBQs or whatever, where you order a rack of ribs and the meat just comes right off the bone in one strip?
Yeah.
I don't like that. I do like having to hold the bone and nibble across to get the meat up. I don't like it when the meat is so overly cooked that it just comes right off the bone. To me, that I don't like that.
Listen, I'm not going to call you a hypocrite. You're a man of many layers, clearly.
Then take the bone off in the kitchen and just give me the strips of the meat.
There you go. Or give you like a McRib.
I don't believe I've ever had a McRib in my life.
You've never had a McRib? I will say it's been a good 30
I don't
years
think
since
so.
I've had a McRib, but it was
I don't think
not
I've ever had a
unenjoyable.
McRib. Really?
I saw, and again, we're going off on a tangent here. I saw a TikTok the other day where a guy was in an airport. I forget where it was. Might have been Atlanta. And you know how they have all these random food machines in airports now.
Sure.
This was a barbecue vending machine. And he was able to order a rib sandwich from a vending machine in an airport.
Oh.
And it looked, the McRib looked better than what came out of this vending machine.
Oh, that's disgusting. Utterly disgusting. By the way, 76ers are up by 7.
Sons of bitches. These aren't the
What the fuck,
Sixers. These
Brian?
aren't your parents. And aren't they in Boston?
They're in Boston.
All right. Well, more importantly, Brian, democracy is coming up in November. Election day is coming up in November. And you, as a citizen of the great state of New Jersey, you, my friend, have a ballot to fill out. And you wanted to kind of walk us through that, didn't you?
So I made a terrible mistake this past year.
Okay. What was that?
This past month, to be exactly. I got a notification in the mail that if I wanted to request a mail-in ballot, I should fill out a form and they will send me a mail-in ballot. If you remember a year ago, I decided it was very important to me to vote in the presidential election. It was Donald Trump versus Kamala Harris.
Right.
And I wanted to make sure that my voice was heard for the presidential election. And also, I love writing you in for one of the areas, one of the roles that
whatever
are
the
there.
gigs are that are out there.
So I got this form that said, do you want a mail-in ballot? If so, fill this form out. We'll send you a mail-in ballot. So I filled it out. What did I not realize is that the county takes that name, adds you onto a list of local voters, and then sells it to every fucking politician that is running for anything.
The
amount
text
of
messages you start to get are insane. Like, you get more text messages from that than if you make a donation to a political campaign.
She hates me right now because our mailbox, every time for the past week, every time I open up the mailbox, it is filled. Every day there's like 4 or 5 things from different politicians. They're mailing shit in Spanish. They're mailing shit in English. They've ordered stuff with campaign dollars. They're trying to get it out.
Oh yeah.
And she looks, so she's like, who's he? What? So I did get yesterday, like, stop filling out forms. She's not happy with me. So we're gonna fill this out on the show.
All right.
Thankfully, we've got Janelle in the group chat, so I want to hear her vote also. So it comes with instructions on how to vote.
Oh yeah.
So I'm gonna turn the lights on so you can see a little bit easier.
It took a while. Like we got our mail-in ballots a couple of weeks back and took care of them.
I just filled it out. So what I'm supposed to do is circle. So here's the ballot. Oh, it's very small. This is going to take just a couple minutes. This is
not a lot. Not a lot you're voting on.
There's not a lot on the ballot, so we are going to go straight off down the line. Where's my pen? I've got my pen. Ron for governor.
So I believe the race is between Mickey Sherrill and high-tax Jack Ciattarelli.
Well, according to Jack Ciattarelli, Mickey Sherrill is also going to raise taxes. Mickey says that she's a Democrat. Jack is a Republican, but also let's consider the down ballot candidates also, because running under the Libertarian Party,
which you are a libertarian,
Vic Kaplan, who I don't believe is related to Gabe Kaplan, but you never know.
Mr. Kater.
Also, running for the Socialist Workers Party is Joanne Kuniansky. So I've got Mickey Sherrill, the Democrat, Jack Ciattarelli, Vic Kaplan, and Joanne Kuniansky. Ron, I'm going to let you pick who I am voting for governor in the great state of New Jersey. They call it the Garden State for a reason.
I didn't realize Phil Murphy was not running again.
I believe, isn't that term limits?
I have no idea. It very possibly could be.
All right. So Janelle has spoken. She wants me to vote for the Republican Ciattarelli.
I mean, I feel like you don't have a lot of good choices. But I feel like Mickey Sherrill is probably the least offensive of all the options you have there.
Okay. Now, I voted for governor. I voted for Mickey Sherrill.
All right.
Mickey?
Mickey Sherrill.
Okay. I've got 3 more votes to make.
All right. Let's hear what they are.
One of these I have to write you in. Okay.
Okay.
I have to. It is a
It's
tradition.
tradition at this point.
Some people are not entertained by that decision that I make. Sees
Understood.
it as a wasted vote and doesn't understand why
Making
I'm
a
not
joke out
respecting-
of democracy.
Correct. So the next one is for members of the General Assembly. They're like the UN General Assembly.
I think it's more your state legislature would be my guess.
So why the fuck won't they call it the state legislature?
I don't know.
Okay, I've got 4 choices here.
All
And
right.
I can also do a write-in.
What are your
Also
4
do a
choices?
write-in here.
Well,
My
what,
4
what,
choices.
Because if I need to hear what the other 3 remaining seats are before I decide.
Okay,
which
so
would be the
I
right-
get to pick 2. I get to pick 2 people for the General Assembly, and
All
then
right.
I get to vote for 1 person for sheriff.
Oh, I want to be sheriff.
You want to be sheriff?
I want to be sheriff, hands down.
Hold on, let me write you
Well,
down.
I mean, I look great in a uniform. Love a badge, and wouldn't mind a gun. So I
Okay.
think I qualify.
So then I'm going to read you 4 names. 2
Okay.
of these are Democrats, 2 of these are Republicans. First one
Okay.
is Gabriel Rodriguez.
Okay.
Gabriel
Democrat.
Rodriguez, Democrat.
All right.
Larry Weinstein, Wainstein. If you want to Google some of these while I'm going through them, so you're not just
All right.
doing it based on name
Democrat.
and your own preconceived notions. Those are the 2 Democrats
All right.
that I have to pick from. On the Republican side, I've got Anthony Valdez. Not sure if he is related to the oil tanker that
To the
slammed
Exxon
into
Valdez.
Correct. It's Valdes. I suspect he changed the spelling of his last name because he does not want people
Avoid
to
the
think
stigma. Yeah.
that his uncle, the oil tanker that caused the ecological disaster in Alaska, that is still being dealt with. Anthony Valdez, and then Cynthia DePice, DePice, DePice,
DePeach.
DePeach. Hey, bring DePeach over here. I'm going to smack it. Oh. So it's Gabriel Rodriguez, Larry Weinstein, Anthony Valdez, Cynthia DePeace.
So I'm going to go. Let's go Gabriel Rodriguez.
We are going to go Gabriel Rodriguez.
And let's go Anthony Valdez.
Anthony Valdez
Checks
gets
and
my
balances,
vote.
Brian. One Democrat, 1 Republican.
And just so that you can see exactly that I followed your instructions, here you can see that I picked Mickey Sherrill. Oh no,
I
Mickey
think you're
Sherrill's
breaking
over
some
here.
sort of law right now. I don't think you're supposed to
Not at all.
show that up. You're not supposed to take pictures of that
Why?
put it online. That's just what I read.
Nowhere does it say do not show this
All right.
online. It just says use an ink pen, black or blue. Do not detach. The ballot is being transported by somebody other than voter. Bearer portion must be completed. Nowhere on this does it say that I cannot put this online. Hold on. Warning. Don't vote Ron. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
This
wow.
is right here.
That's very
Don't
specific.
vote Ron. Ron is weak. So we got Mikey Sherrill. We voted for over here. There's a vote for Mickey Sherrill. There you go. Then I saw we got a vote for Gabriel Rodriguez. There you see your vote for Anthony Valdez. And then here I'm going to try and cover up your last name, but you can see I wrote you
There you go.
right in over there.
Appreciate that.
There.
I
You
will
got my
serve
vote.
with honor.
There you go. You
All
get
right.
my vote. Thank you. Thank you for your help, Ron.
Thank you for your democracy.
This is American democracy. Thank you very much.
All right. Better than democracy, Brian, is gambling. That's right. It's time for Locks of the Week.
locks.
Ooh.
Brian,
Can
I don't want to. I don't want to
I need to-
belabor the
no.
point. No,
No,
I don't
Ron,
want to belabor
Ron,
the
I
point.
can't.
Okay. All right.
I have to start here because what you are doing here, this is a generational run. This is something no man or woman has done before and will ever do again. Ron, last week, week 8 of the NFL season.
Sure.
Listen, you were 14-0 going into the season. You now walk away 16-0. You went 2-0 this season. You saw the Eagles laying 9 points against the Giants. You scoffed at it. You saw the Patriots minus 5.5 over the Browns. You sat there and said, what kind of line is that? Your picks could not have been better. Neither one was particularly close in my mind. It looked like they were just runaways. The ability to see the Vegas line that they published and to see which side to go in at. Ron, I'm going to say, how do you do this?
Listen, again, you push me to be great because you also, not even close, 2-0, a great week, insane how good you are. But listen, we keep moving forward. The past is the past. We're only as good as the day is long. Who do you like for week 9 for the NFL?
Week 9, there are some teams that I just think are a little obvious here. 49ers, the early line, and I expect it to move during the week. 49ers are only laying 3 against the New Jersey Giants. Niners, I know, have been beaten up. This week they were definitely tested. I think that they come out of that tunnel and shine next week against the Giants. Also, Colts minus 1.5 over the Steelers. The Steelers have outplayed their capability. This is the week Aaron Rodgers comes back down to earth, and the Colts are the team to do it.
All right. I like 2 road favorites this weekend, Brian. Jacksonville minus 3 at Las Vegas, and LA Chargers minus 4.5 at Tennessee. Can we continue this unbeaten run that we have going for 82 years at this point? We'll find out. You'll have to tune into episode 377.
And we're not telling you to bet your entire paycheck on our picks. However, the people who have done so earlier don't need a paycheck anymore, if you know what I'm talking about. They're in Kosamui.
Paycheck is 2 paychecks, and you turn it into 2 paychecks by betting on the locks of the week.
Of course. Locks of the week.
Brian, we pride ourselves in trying not to talk too much about President Trump. We tried just to stay away from the politics, but a couple of things this past week, completely insane. We had talked previously a while back about this new ballroom that he wanted to put at the White House for some reason, which he initially said there wasn't really going to be any damage to the building. It's going to be a fit out, whatever. Then we see this past week videotape of the entire east wing of the building being knocked down.
Sure.
Put up 90? Like, I think the ballroom is going to be larger than the remainder of the White House. It's like a 90,000 square foot ballroom.
Sure.
The cost is now estimated at $300 million, $100 million above original estimates, which supposedly is coming from private donors.
Qatar.
Does this not feel
Saudi Arabia?
Does this not feel like money laundering of some sort?
Of course it is. Ironic. He's looking, and not only is he getting it from private donors, but it's the idea that if you are having your second term end in 3 years, why are you starting a multi-year renovation project? This is not a man that's going to walk away from this building after he's doubled the size of the White House.
I mean, he's already torn up the Rose Garden, completely took all the character away from it. And now we are going to have this gaudy Trump Taj Mahal-like ballroom at the White House moving forward.
Listen, this every president has had the ability to do something like this. He's just the one who has sat there and been and had no shame about doing it.
The other story, He is now demanding that the DOJ pay him $230 million for expenses incurred while defending himself against federal criminal investigations and charges. One for the investigation over 2016 Russian interference claims, and the other for investigation into mishandled classified information. Number one, the guy doesn't pay bills. So what expenses? He doesn't pay lawyers. Number two, he's saying, oh, this isn't about the money. I will give the $230 million charity.
No,
you know that's a lie. You know that's
a lie. That is an absolute lie.
How does this not enrage everybody, regardless of your political leaning?
You're asking the wrong person, because I know that half this country is going to sit there and be like, absolutely, the government should pay him. What they persecuted him, and he was an honest man doing what's best for America. He's fighting for America and our rights against all foreign enemies, and we went after him for it. The deep state did threw their best at him, and he won. And it's time for the government to apologize to him. And there's no better way than giving him $250 million.
Yeah. Why not? And TMZ reported, which has been denied by the White House, that Trump is considering freeing Diddy, just pardoning him.
Yeah. Listen,
it's insane.
He pardoned Santos, and Santos had gone out of his way to take money from Republican voters, and defrauded them. And Trump is like, pardon. He gets a pardon. There's no logic. There's no rationality. It's just fucking wild to me, the world that we're living in. I try not to pay attention.
And what's one of the first things that George Santos does when he gets out? But he posts on Twitter that he says that he and his family might need to depart New York City if they elect Mondami as mayor. And the majority of the internet was like, yes. We're fine with you leaving New York City. Some of the comments were, you poor thing. What about the people you scammed? Any restitution for them? Mamdani isn't even in office yet, and he's already chasing criminals out of the city. You're leaving because of Mondami. It sounds like he's already taking care of crime, and you are literally a convicted criminal that got off with no punishment.
Sure.
I mean, what did he get? He got 7 years and did probably 7 months.
I thought he did 3 months. I thought he did 3 months. I could be wrong.
Insane.
This is the world we live in. We have money to buy the Department of Homeland Security 2 brand new Gulfstream private jets. We do not have money to pay for a Department of Education. We do not have money to support those who are most in need. We have money to give to the rich in forms of tax rebates. It's upside down world.
And let's not forget, we're still in the middle of the Trump government shutdown. Military not getting paid. Air traffic controllers not getting paid. SNAP benefits probably won't go out to Americans by the beginning of the month.
The only way that first off, I mean, this is exactly Trump's dream. His dream is that there be no government for him to have to deal with. Because he's getting everything that he wants, which is, he snaps his fingers and suddenly there's money to do whatever he wants, but he doesn't have to pay anybody else. This only stops when people go on strike. The very fact that you've got people in the military still showing up to work, you've got air traffic controllers. This all comes to a halt when someone disrupts this system. If the air traffic controller said, we're not showing up to work tomorrow until we get paid, and they're suddenly no longer being
running in 24 hours.
We would have
which is what happened during the last shutdown. It took the air traffic system being almost disabled for them to get the government back.
And I'm surprised it hasn't happened yet.
ICE was in New York City, your former stomping grounds.
Ice-T. I'm a huge fan of Ice-T. Going back to his days in New Jack City acting.
This is Immigration.
OG, Original Gangsters, one of my favorite albums. I love Ice Cube in the 21 Jump Street movies.
This is ICE, the immigration control exercise. What is ICE exactly?
Immigration Customs Enforcement.
There we go. So they raided Canal Street, which I know you are
Yes.
a big fan of the commerce down on
Been
Canal
there.
Street. You
Sure.
can buy knockoff bags, some fake Louis Vuitton, some
Yep.
fake Prada. But they apparently arrested a bunch of street vendors. Got a lot of bedazzled phone cases off the streets, Brian. We are safer because of it.
Listen, this is exactly the world. This is the reality of what we got. Is that Trump ran on a platform. He was going to expand ICE under the guise that they were going to go after drug dealers that were illegals. They were going to go after the criminals. And what is he doing? He's going after people that are actually working and providing services to Americans.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. I saw an interview with somebody on the news this morning, which basically said, listen, the most dangerous thing about what's going on here is not the fact that they're rounding up immigrants. And it's the fact that you've got masked, armed federal agents running through the streets, grabbing people based on their physical appearance and stopping them and demanding that these people prove that they are here legally. And by the time they get the opportunity to show that, they have already been detained for some period of time.
Oh, yeah.
This isn't ICE walking up to people being like, oh, hey, by the way, let me see your driver's license, or do you have a social security card or a passport? They're just literally roaming through the street, rounding people up, detaining them, handcuffing them, taking them away to detention centers. And then they're being like, okay, what's your name? And the thing is, by that point, these people they're just rounding people up based on their physical appearance.
Right. Their skin tone, their accent, whatever.
Which is basically, at this point, anybody that's not white.
Yeah, very much so.
Anybody that's not white. And as a white male, I understand that I don't theoretically at this stage fear that ICE agents are going to detain me. But as somebody who is here legally, who is Hispanic looking, I would be very concerned if I was that person.
Without a doubt. Sticking with what's going on in government,
Sure.
President Trump, the head of the Law and Order Republican Party, he had pardoned all those folks from the January 6th insurrection on the Capitol because they were just good people, Brian. They shouldn't have been in prison. Well, one of them has been arrested yet again for allegedly threatening to kill one of the top Democrats in Congress. New York State Police announced the arrest of Christopher Moynihan on Sunday with help of the FBI's Joint Terrorism Task Force. Moynihan had been serving a 21-month sentence when he and 1,500 other rioters were pardoned by Trump in January. But apparently, last week he decided to send a text message about killing House Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries. Quote, Hakeem Jeffries makes a speech in a few days in New York City. I cannot allow this terrorist to live, even if I am hated. He must be eliminated. I will kill him for the future. Definitely sounds like a guy who learned his lesson by being convicted and spending time in prison. Definitely was thankful for being pardoned. And then his dumbass. And my only hope is that they charge him on a state level and not a federal level, because Trump can't pardon people that get convicted on a state level.
Well, not this week. He may change the laws.
That's true.
Unbelievable. Just such a fucking unbelievable world we live in right now. And we're not even 1 year into a 4-year term.
It's exhausting, the fact that we are not even a full year in.
Sure. Yeah.
Brian, your boy, my boy, everybody's boy, Luigi Mangione, back
in the
news again this week. Not for his charges for being shot. Brian, why was Luigi in the news? I know this is a story that is near and dear to your heart.
Well, listen, the media is fascinated with Luigi Mangione. They're fascinated with what led Luigi to allegedly go after the CEO of United Healthcare. What happened to him? Now they've gone into his past. They understand his childhood. He was from a well-to-do family. He did a lot of traveling. Well, there's a story in the news, I believe it was earlier this week. New York Post was discussing him, where there are reports that one of the places that Luigi visited in the months before the shooting, that Luigi went to Thailand, like a lot of
As
a
one
lot
will
of
do.
white, as a lot of white males, across the world will do. They will go to Thailand. There's a lot of different flavors to be tasted when you're in Thailand. The
There you go.
food is one of those things. But allegedly, Luigi was a victim of an atrocity. Would you dare call it an atrocity?
I think potentially a hate crime. I think you need to keep your mind open as you listen to this.
So in 2024, Luigi was traveling through Asia, and apparently got into an altercation in Bangkok, where he claims, so this is a text message sent by Luigi to a group chat amongst his friends. He said that he was in Bangkok, and he claimed that he had been beaten up by 7 lady boys, which his terminology, not mine. I think that that's an
Sure.
offensive term. Another word for transgendered women in Bangkok. And he shared a photo of his battered and scratched arm. According to him, he was, in Bangkok when this happened. Did not give any more details than that. However, I'm not sure that that's the guy. Listen, when I was in Thailand a few years back, and I was beaten up by 7 of just beautiful women. May have had penises. Didn't bother me. When I was attacked by 7 of them and beaten to a pulp, I left a bigger tip at the end of the night. But that's neither here nor there. You didn't see me coming back and complaining.
No. Well, listen, I think this just adds to the legend of Luigi Mangione.
Sure.
Do you think he ever gets a trial?
Of course.
I don't know. It just seems
You
like
think they're going to
all these
him?
charges. There's all these additional charges that keep getting dropped against him. At some point, are they even able to bring a case against him at this point?
Show me a potential juror that knows nothing about this case.
Yeah, exactly.
But he's not going to plead innocent. We know he's not going to plead guilty. We know he's not going to cop to it.
He's not taking a plea, but I think he walks.
I would love for him to walk. He can walk in.
He has an
with
open
those
invitation
dreamy
to appear
eyes.
on this podcast.
Listen, this could become a 3-way. We could have a 3-way with Luigi.
All right. I'm not against it. Get lost in that man's eyes, no question. Brian, we were talking about immigration and customs enforcement a little bit earlier. President Trump wants to double the size of ICE by hiring and deploying 10,000 new agents by January. He's a jobs creator, Brian. You have to say that.
Of course.
But the problem is many of the recruits that are showing up at the ICE training academy in Georgia can't seem to pass the fitness test. So apparently they had a fitness test, a preliminary test to qualify for getting into the program. They actually watered down some of the requirements to boost recruitment. So the test right now, Brian, requires recruits to do 15 push-ups, 32 sit-ups, and run 1.5 miles in 14 minutes or less. But
seems very reasonable.
Over 1/3 of them have failed up to this point.
Jesus. A third?
A third. Now, they are not getting kicked out. Instead, they are being assigned administrative tasks while they wait for ICE's Human Resources Department to write up their pink slips, which apparently is dragging down the entire process. Apparently, they're not fully trained, so they're not that helpful in administrative roles. There aren't enough parking spaces, cubicles, or bathroom facilities to accommodate the influx of what are essentially glorified interns. Hard to believe that ICE is as dysfunctional as the rest of the federal government at this point.
I bet ICE is getting paid.
Oh, without a doubt. They get their signing bonuses. They get paid. Unbelievable.
Fuck them all. Fuck the whole thing. This is ludicrous. This is ludicrous. Ron, it's been an episode. It's been
Let's
an
get one more
episode.
story in here.
Well,
One
you're
more
sneaking in
story,
one
Brian.
more.
One
Right?
more story we're going to get in here because the only thing that aggravates us more than politics at times is religion, where a Detroit pastor is under fire for ridiculing a worshiper who attempted to give $1,200 to the church instead of the $2,000 he had requested during a fundraiser. This is Perfecting Church's Bishop Marvin Winans. He was caught on camera mocking a woman's charity to her face as she delivered the large donation to the church during the congregation's Day of Giving on October 19th. She read to the full congregation, "I, Roberta McCoy, give in faith and stand in unity with the vision of Perfecting Church, with sowing this seed of $1,000 plus $235 in receiving the blessings to come that all that participate." Well, apparently, when Winans created the event, he asked congregants to donate $1,000 and raise $1,000. So he mocked her because she didn't follow the directions and was short of what the goal was. He said, "Y'all not listening to what I'm saying. If you have 1,000 plus 1,000, you better work on getting that other $800.
Wow. He's a piece of shit.
So the interaction between the woman and her pastor was captured on a live stream and has since gone viral. He defended his moment and said, "Hey, I was just calling the congregation up by amount. She didn't have the number, so she got called up."
Seems reasonable.
Now, the worshiper revealed she has been the target of online threats since the video went viral, because all good religious people threaten violence when something doesn't go their way.
What a bizarre world we live in. I don't actually believe her.
It really is. It really is.
She's trying to martyr herself so she can probably get money. Why would anybody watching that on TV sit there and call her up to threaten her? Doesn't make sense. Why did you do it?
So
Ron?
he is attempting to raise $23 million to build a new cathedral, not to house his parishioners, not to feed the hungry, not to provide health care to people, to make some nice shiny cathedral for himself.
It's almost like he's building an East Wing.
Very similar to that. Very similar. Nice. I like how you a little callback. You tied it all together. Very impressive.
A little bit.
Folks, we're going to ask you for money now, but we don't build ballrooms. We don't build cathedrals. We put money
give back
into the show. We pay for title belts. We pay for hats. We pay for water bottles. We pay for content. Join our Patreon if you would be so inclined. We really appreciate you guys joining us on the free edition of the podcast. But for a scant pennies per day, you could join the podcast, and there's a ton of swag you can get. You can join the After Dark, which is an exclusive 30 minutes of extra content, the spicier, saucier contest. But what it also allows you to do, it allows you to make an investment in the future of the Cult of Ron and Brian. It allows us to continue to not worry about expenses and to focus on the work. And as we have said so many times, people, the work is so important.
So important. So just do the work.
Please, go to the cultofronandbrian.com, the website. Click on the upper right-hand corner to become a patron. Listen, and if you want some great swag, Brian was showing off his Cult of Ron and Brian coffee mug. We've got truckers caps, we've got t-shirts, we've got journals. Go to cultofronandbrian.myshopify.com. Some great ways to show that you support the podcast. Brian,
and then let the podcast support you.
Exactly. We fill up us, and we will fill you up.
I would love to fill you up, Ron.
And then I
would take that title belt when you're sleeping.
Well, we'll see. We've got a few months. Get ready for that debate. We got to set a date for that. We got to get that carved in.
It's always the Sunday between the championship round and the Super Bowl. And this year, I believe I will have technology to help me prepare for the show.
I hope so. I hope you bring your A game because
do
you
we
normally
share
bring your D game.
Do we share the great photo that I came across today of you and your coffee nook?
I think that that would be inappropriate.
I took a lesson from you because I typed something in. I typed in a instruction.
A prompt, Brian. Don't be old. It's a prompt for AI.
I typed in a prompt and they told me they could not do what I wanted. So what I came back to them was, give me a photo, create a photo of this man holding a small straw over a pile of talcum powder.
There you go.
And they did it. And they also gave you a big smile, which I didn't even ask for.
They just threw that in for free.
What a big fucking smile.
They were like, this guy really enjoys talcum powder.
This is gonna be fun, Ron. I guess I got pictures of you behind bars. This is going to be fun.
I think the debate might need to be a 2-hour episode this year because
depends how much I can drink.
That's just how much content we're gonna have. Well, folks,
sure, it should be fun.
We appreciate you joining us as always. It's been a great week. Be careful. The end of this week, obviously, is Halloween. Look out for little ones. Don't check. There's drugs in the candy. There's
look for the razors
candy. So just be careful out there.
Be careful, folks.
Anything else before we wrap this amazing episode up?
This is another successful Sunday episode. I don't know about you, but I do not have any of the Sunday scaries right now. And it's because of you. It's because of everybody in the chat, everybody joining us live. No Sunday scaries, all because of this show. Thank you. I feel great.
Outstanding. Well, thank you all for joining us. We will catch you again next week.
Thank you for joining us for the latest episode of The Cult of Ron and Brian. A non-tax deductible contribution can be made by subscribing to our Patreon. Visit cultofronandbrian.com and click on Become a Patron. We'll see you again next week.